Now Jehoshaphat had riches and honor in abundance, and he allied himself by marriage with Ahab. And some years later he went down to Ahab at Samaria. And Ahab sacrificed sheep and oxen in abundance for him and the people who were with him, and incited him to go up against Ramoth-Gilead. And Ahab king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat king of Judah, "Will you go with me against Ramoth-Gilead?" And he said to him, "I am as you are, and my people as your people, and we will be with you in the battle." Moreover, Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, "Please inquire first for the word of Yahweh." Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets, 400 men, and said to them, "Shall we go against Ramoth-Gilead to battle, or shall I refrain?" And they said, "Go up, for God will give it into the hand of the king." But Jehoshaphat said, "Is there not yet a prophet of Yahweh here that we may inquire of him?" And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "There is yet one man by whom we may inquire of Yahweh, but I hate him, because he never prophesies good concerning me, but always evil. He is Micaiah, son of Imlah." But Jehoshaphat said, "Let not the king say so." Then the king of Israel called an officer and said, "Hasten to bring Micaiah son of Imlah." Now the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah were sitting each on his throne, clothed in their royal garments, and they were sitting at the threshing floor at the entrance of the gate of Samaria, and all the prophets were prophesying before them. And Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah made horns of iron for himself and said, "Thus says Yahweh, with these you shall gore the Arameans until they are consumed." All the prophets were also prophesying thus, saying, "Go up to Ramoth-Gilead and succeed, and Yahweh will give it into the hand of the king." Now the messenger who went to summon Micaiah spoke to him, saying, "Behold, the words of the prophets, as if from one mouth, are good to the king. So please let your word be like one of them, and speak that which is good." But Micaiah said, "As Yahweh lives, what my God says, that I shall speak." Then he came to the king, and the king said to him, "Micaiah, shall we go to Ramoth-Gilead to battle, or shall I refrain?" And he said, "Go up and succeed, and they will be given into your hand." Then the king said to him, "How many times must I make you swear to speak to me nothing but the truth in the name of Yahweh?" So he said, "I saw all Israel scattered on the mountains, like sheep which have no shepherd. And Yahweh said, These have no master. Let each of them return to his house in peace." So the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "Did I not say to you that he would not prophesy good concerning me, but evil?" Then Micaiah said, "Therefore, hear the word of Yahweh. I saw Yahweh sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing on his right and on his left. And Yahweh said, Who will entice Ahab king of Israel so that he will go up and fall at Ramoth-Gilead?" And one said this while another said that. Then a spirit came forward and stood before Yahweh and said, "I will entice him." And Yahweh said to him, "How?" And he said, "I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets." Then he said, "You shall entice him and also prevail. Go out and do so." So now, behold, Yahweh has put a lying spirit in the mouth of these your prophets, but Yahweh has spoken calamity against you. Then Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah approached and struck Micaiah on the cheek and said, "How did the Spirit of Yahweh pass from me to speak to you?" And Micaiah said, "Behold, you will see on that day when you enter an inner room to hide." Then the king of Israel said, "Take Micaiah and return him to Amon the ruler of the city and to Joash the king's son, and say, Thus says the king, Put this man in prison and feed him sparingly with bread and water until I return safely." And Micaiah said, "If you indeed return safely, Yahweh has not spoken by me." And he said, "Listen, all you people." So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat king of Judah went up against Ramoth-Gilead. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "I will disguise myself and go into battle, but you put on your garments." So the king of Israel disguised himself, and they went into battle. Now the king of Aram had commanded the commanders of his chariots, saying, "Do not fight with small or great, but with the king of Israel alone." Now it happened that when the commanders of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, they said, "It is the king of Israel," and they turned to fight against him. But Jehoshaphat cried out, and Yahweh helped him, and God incited them away from him. So it happened that when the commanders of the chariots saw that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back from pursuing him. Now a certain man drew his bow at random and struck the king of Israel in a joint of the armor. So he said to the driver of the chariot, "Turn around and take me out of the fight, for I am severely wounded." Now the battle raged that day, and the king of Israel propped himself up in his chariot in front of the Arameans until the evening, and at sunset he died.